Good morning, and thank you for being here. It's my privilege to serve as president of the board for this organization, a place that does the hard and compassionate work of helping people find shelter and a pathway to stability. We are here this morning with the support from two sponsors, presenting sponsor Thrivent and Pillar of Support sponsor Keller. Please thank them with me. You'll hear more from Thrivent shortly. This past year marked a turning point. Thanks to your support, we were able to eliminate a long-standing structural deficit and retire all of our outstanding mortgage loans. That financial stability means we're no longer reacting to crisis, we're planning for the future. Over the past year, we provided more than 45,000 nights of shelter. Each night meant someone had a safe place to rest when they needed it most. But our impact extends well beyond emergency shelter. Pillars provides more than 150 housing units, including supportive, affordable, and market rate housing, to provide not only shelter, but the foundation people need to thrive long term. We do this work in a time of growing urgency. Nationally, homelessness rose 18% last year, the largest single increase on record. In Wisconsin, over 5,000 people are experiencing homelessness, the equivalent of every resident in Prairie du Chien, or, closer to home, everyone in Black Creek and Hortonville. Right here in the Fox Valley, more than 1,300 people received help last year through Pillars housing and shelter programs. And the need is growing. Local studies show that Outagamie County alone will need over 10,000 new housing units by 2030 across all income levels. Added to that, rising inflation, stagnant wages, and a housing market that's already under pressure, and you can see why this moment matters so much. This year, to have greater impact for our community, we are focusing on both ends of the Pillars service continuum, prevention and diversion, and housing solutions. Before someone even enters the shelter system, we ask, can we help them stay housed? Last year, Pillars supported over 300 people through prevention and diversion, more than half of them children. That's everyone in this room. But kids. These are families we help with rental assistance, mediation, and case management, tools that help them avoid the disruption of losing their housing. It's the right thing to do, and it's also cost-effective. Because once someone does enter one of our shelters, the challenges and the expenses go up. That's why prevention matters. It actually costs about $1,000 less per person to help someone stay housed than to support them in shelter. By investing in this program, we can have more impact, especially as our shelters run at near capacity. On the other end of the continuum, we will focus on exit pathways, not just shelter, but solutions. In 2024, we had over 500 people in housing, where people can take a meaningful step toward a stronger future with confidence. And there's more ahead. Given our reinforced financial position, we can now explore ways to buy, build, or partner to expand affordable housing in the region. Because without more housing, other solutions are temporary. With this stronger foundation, we're ready to invest in prevention and diversion programs that keep families intact, in staff training and strategic collaboration with local landlords, schools, and service providers, in new housing development and partnerships throughout the Fox Valley. Our mission begins with helping someone tonight and continues by creating opportunities and support in the days ahead. This past year has shown what we can accomplish when a community comes together with purpose and compassion. Let's carry that momentum forward together. Now I'd like to invite Jenny Eichelberg to share a few remarks. Jenny is the Corporate Responsibility Manager for Thrivent, our Report to the Community presenting sponsor.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jenny Eichelberg, and as Steve said, I work for Thrivent as a corporate responsibility manager here in the Fox Cities. It's an honor to be here with all of you. I have personally supported Pillars for over 20 years through volunteering and donations, including over 6 years on the Emergency Shelter Board of Directors, one of the organizations that merged to become Pillars. Before we begin, I'd like to ask this sold-out crowd a few questions. Please raise your hand and keep it up if you've done one of the following. How many of you have donated money to Pillars? How many of you have volunteered for Pillars? Keep your hands up if you're still, because I want to see how many people hear all this. And how many of you have donated items or baked for Pillars? Wow. Thank you all for your generosity and support. I'd like to start by talking a little bit about Thrivent. Thrivent is a Fortune 500 financial services company that helps build, grow, and protect financial well-being through purpose-driven advice, investments, insurance, banking, and my favorite, generosity programs. Thrivent serves all Christians and offers investment products for all people. Our unique structure amplifies the generosity of our clients, their communities, and our workforce. We support our clients' desire to give and serve in their communities wherever and however they choose. Every year, we help raise and donate hundreds of millions of dollars and coordinate millions of volunteer hours to support the causes that inspire our clients. With a strong financial foundation and a history of service, we will help the next generation put its plans into motion and faith into action. Thrivent originated 123 years ago right here in Appleton as Aid Association for Lutherans, and following a merger with Lutheran Brotherhood in 2002, became Thrivent Financial for Lutherans. Today, Thrivent is a member-owned company that does not have shareholders and emphasizes values at the core of its operations. Thrivent is proud to be a longtime supporter of Pillars and the impactful work that they do here in the Fox Cities. Now let's talk a little bit about Pillars. From homelessness to coming home, Pillars addresses a continuum of housing needs. Pillars provides shelter, support, and solutions to address the housing needs in the Fox Cities through a broad range of both crisis housing and stable housing services. In 2024, the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region convened a large group of community leaders. Lisa Strandberg, the executive director of Pillars, courageously stood in front of this group to transparently let them know that after 2 years, the organization continued to face significant budget deficits, while balancing an increasing need for Pillars services in the community. The community responded to Lisa's information in force, and over the next year helped to stabilize Pillars' budget. I'd like to thank all of the staff, volunteers, and board members for all of your support for Pillars programs. You all thanklessly gave of yourselves to make sure that program participants can be served throughout the organization's continuum of services. Through the combined efforts and generosity of the community, Pillars not only stabilize their budget, but also replenish their reserves for the future. In conclusion, I also want to thank all of you for attending this sold-out event to support Pillars' mission. From homelessness to coming home, Pillars provides shelter, support, and solutions to address the housing needs in our community. Thrivent supports Pillars, together we are honored to contribute the important work that Pillars does in the community. This event is a great opportunity for all of us to celebrate this collaborative community together. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. Jenny's one of the pillars on which this organization is built, having served as board president of one of our legacy organizations, so it's wonderful to have her now with another important partner of ours in the community. It is great to be here with all of you. I love this moment. I love looking out at the crowd and seeing all of your amazing faces. It's humbling. I see, precious faces of team members. I see dedicated board members. I see trusted community collaborators, wonderful philanthropic partners. I see my dear husband right front and center to give me the courage I need to carry on, the guy who keeps me fed. This moment always reminds me of the moment at our wedding when the ushers pushed the door open and I was looking out at everyone I loved from every facet of my life. That's what this moment feels like to me. It took my breath away then, and it takes my breath away today, too. Like a bride at a wedding, with the rare gift of all the people that she cherishes in the same room at the same time, I can't resist taking a few minutes to introduce you to each other. High on the list of cherished faces in the room is that of Steve Williams, our board president. If you've attended this event before, you've heard me describe nonprofit thought leader Joan Gary's analogy of the executive director and board president of a nonprofit as the paired jet engines of a plane. That plane only flies straight and strong if these engines are firing together. Steve has been a steadfast partner beside me through some very tough times. And this year, through some really remarkably amazing times. I'd like to thank him and First Lady Sarah Lane, his wife, for their collective support of Pillars. I also want to acknowledge the rest of our board. Pillars has gone through a significant tumult and transition in the last 6 years. There was a merger. There was a pandemic, there was a financial crisis, an executive director transition. One of the greatest sources of stability through all this change truly was our board of directors, our board leadership. Board members, I know many of you are here this morning. Will you stand up so that folks can lay eyes on you? Now the staff team. These folks, they are something else. We had an all-staff meeting this week, Tuesday, and diversion and prevention case manager Liz Swecker lifted up the team norm that is toughest for these folks to adhere to. Ask for help when you need it. These folks are helpers. They tend to be filled by pouring themselves out. Some examples of that being filled by pouring themselves out from the same meeting. One of our crisis housing advocates, Cheyenne, spoke with excitement about the therapeutic, self-esteem building art sessions that she and her colleagues have been offering at our resource center. Single room occupancy case manager Megan Solberg described the joy she felt in seeing one of her clients light up, telling her that he had been to the PAC to see Chicago with his sister. This was a client who had been in one of our shelters not so long ago. As Megan so eloquently put it, the small wins are the big wins for this team. It tends to be thankless work, but today it is not. So staff, I want you to stand up so that everyone here can thank you for the work that you do. Extended leadership team, stay standing, extended leadership team. These are the folks I lean on. These are the folks I ask for help. I hope that they ask me for help when they need it too. Christine, you're not in the picture, but you're here in the flesh today. So this is my team, and they deserve a round of applause as well. You might consider the folks I've just introduced as the key characters in the Pillars story, the ones first in the credits. But you all of you, have played a role too. You saw that when Jenny asked you to raise your hands. Thanks for making time to be here this morning to share in our story. And when I say share in our story, I use that word our inclusively. I use that word our expansively. The story of addressing the needs of homelessness here in our community it's our work. It's not Pillars' work, it's our work together. What I have to share today truly is our collective story. This year, more than ever, what I will dare to call historic year, you have all played a role as the creative, compassionate community that collaborates in responding to the housing needs here in the Fox Cities. I am much more comfortable being scripted when I'm in front of a group like this, but I'm gonna try to tell our story a little more naturally. So, bear with me as I go off script here and talk through our achievements for fiscal year 2024. It has been an exciting time. Many of you have heard the story before, but like a good story, it bears repeating. So for those of you who are hearing it for the second, the third, the 10th time, just sit back, relish it like I do. It really is, it's a phenomenal thing. And it says a lot about this community that we are lucky to live in. We, as you heard a couple of times from a couple of people already, have restored financial stability, which is a great place to be. The first 2 years as executive director, facing a structural deficit, were 2 very difficult years. I followed our team norm, and I asked for help, and help came, and that was truly inspiring. That convening that Jenny Eichelberg mentioned back in November of 2023 was so pivotal in getting the ball rolling on what has been a tremendous year. And that convening came together through the work of our partners and dear friends at the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. They recognized their strategic role as a convener and collaborator in the community, and they brought 40 or 50 people together, donors, funders, municipal leaders, county leaders, all together in a room to hear about the trouble we were facing as an organization. I'll talk more about that path for us in just a minute. It's been a tremendous thing. Because of the increased financial stability, we were able to improve employee compensation. Talk about that in a bit too. We have partnered this year with a number of faith communities in order to sustain winter response, desperately needed with the rise in homelessness nationally and here locally. And we are piloting an upstream partnership with Heads Up Fox Cities to house and stabilize young adults in our community. So more on each of those things in turn. Let's start with the headline news, which is financial stability. That convening that took place, as I said, got the ball rolling. And the very first thing that happened, nearly immediately, was a $150,000 matching gift that came from a donor with a donor advised fund at the Community Foundation. That gift was significant because the estimated gap we had in our budget for 2024 was $300,000. So $150,000 was a challenge to our community to respond to fill that gap. And it happened almost immediately, and it was responded to almost immediately as well. It took only about 5 weeks for 84 or so friends, partners, organizations to step up and meet that match and give us confidence that we could get through the year. But that wasn't it. That wasn't the only thing that happened. A couple of representatives of Outagamie County were present at that convening in November that the Community Foundation hosted. They heard the story. They walked away, let things simmer, looked for opportunities to get involved and partner. The county had a set of funds, $3 million, American Rescue Plan Act funding, earmarked for mental health needs. Many of the folks that Pillars supports, particularly through our street outreach and resource center programming, struggle with severe and persistent mental health issues. The county had a pool of funding destined for mental health issues. They made it happen. They brought their team together and provided support for us in order to keep those programs strong and solid. You're gonna see on screen just a moment a check, a big check. There was a small check too, a real one, for $1.5 million from Outagamie County to support behavioral health and mental health supports in our community. That check is upholding the work at our resource center and the work of our street outreach team through the end of calendar year 2026. It's also helping to stabilize our organization with infrastructure that we need to be solid and strong. You'll see the check endorsed on the back by the staff. I wanted them to feel that that check was written to them because of the work that they do. But that wasn't all. After that gift, that beneficiary agreement stabilized the organization, there was still one more big gift coming out of that convening held back in November. And that was also through the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. That morning at the convening, Kurt Dachin, the CEO, president and CEO of the Community Foundation, asked a question about how much mortgage debt we had. He had a twinkle in his eye already that morning. And several months later, I learned what that twinkle was about. He had conversations with some of the Community Foundation's partners, with the Basic Needs Giving Partnership and U.S. Venture, about a gift that had been situated in the Community Foundation for several years, destined to support basic needs in the Fox cities. That gift was made by David Thiede. David Thiede worked for Miller, didn't live a life that would bring attention to himself. You probably have never heard of him unless you've heard this story before. But David attended the U.S. Venture Open one time. And 7 years later, when he passed away in 2017, gave the bulk of his estate, the sum total of his life's work, to basic needs, to the U.S. Venture Fund for Basic Needs within the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. That gift was round about the same amount that we owed on our mortgages. And that was what got Kurt thinking, and got Kurt thinking in partnership with Greg Vandenberg from U.S. Venture, with Lynn Coriano from the Basic Needs Giving Partnership, about how to situate that gift in a way that would support basic needs in an enduring way in the community. And that's exactly what happened. That gift was made with the approval of the board at the Community Foundation, $800,000 to pay down all of our mortgage debt, every penny of money that we owed on 6 properties that we used to house folks affordably, paid down in the form of a 0% interest indefinite term loan to keep us doing what we're doing. And if ever we stop doing it, if ever we sell that Wireworks building with 25 units of housing for people of very low income or extremely low income, that gift will revert to the Community Foundation. It'll be put to use again for basic needs. So just an amazing, amazing gift. I want to stop and I want to thank all of the folks who played a role in these 3 phases, these 3 steps in stabilizing our organization and ensuring that we can continue to serve the people who need us. Thank them, please. What this newfound stability has enabled us to do is to catch up with inflation and compensating our team members a little more fairly. And they work hard. So we were able to make a significant step up in compensation, particularly for our frontline staff. And that was one of the key things to me, was to make sure that staff felt acknowledged and that staff felt that this gift was made to them for the important work that they do. We've also done the hard work internally that we needed to do to achieve basically break-even budget. That structural deficit that we were facing for a couple of years, it's been pared down to just a slim, slender 1%. So with mortgage debt eliminated, with some changes, tough decisions made internally, we've been able to bring our budget into balance. This is the case even with those significant increases in compensation. Meanwhile, homelessness is on the rise in our community, unsheltered homelessness in particular. And we have had some tremendous partners around us in responding to that need as well. For 2 years, the City of Appleton was our partner in ensuring that we could respond to winter needs where being unsheltered is a life or death situation. The City of Appleton provided support for 2 years to provide the ability for us to expand shelter capacity temporarily and flexibly. That funding came through a community development block grant pool of money that was temporary, that was one time, that was based on COVID response. And we got busy last spring looking for partners to work with us to extend that program. And we found them. We found them in the faith community here in the Fox Cities. They really came together to help bridge that gap. First United Methodist Church in Appleton got that ball rolling with a significant gift. They were quickly followed by other congregations, First Congregational United Church of Christ in Appleton, Memorial Presbyterian Church in Appleton, and St. Mary Parish, all contributed, along with a family foundation, to pool together $100,000 so that we could offer a two-prong approach to winter response, adding 4 households worth of capacity November through February, and responding humanely when the temperatures hit a certain threshold, expanding shelter capacity flexibly in order to make space for the people who needed it, who had absolutely nowhere else to go. We are indebted. And again, that we is expansive. We are indebted to these faith communities for their investment in making sure that people were safe through the winter. I also want to acknowledge here work that is not ours, but work that certainly supported our work, and that is the work of St. Joseph Parish and Churches United in Care to come alongside us with another warming option to help balance out needs when we weren't able to meet them all. So if you are here as a member of any of these faith communities, as a member of Churches United in Care, would you please stand up? There are many of you, and I want everyone to see just how many of you there are. I mentioned having to make hard decisions with regard to our budget, and one of those hard decisions that we made was to wind down client-facing services through our Ascend program. Ascend was a program that served young adults who struggled with mental health issues, providing housing and case management. The focus of that program was really on mental health. We're not a mental health agency. We're a housing and homelessness agency. But through great community partnerships, we were connected with another organization in the community that came alongside us through conversations with many, many partners to extend those services in a different shape and form using the same assets, the same housing units, the same space that we'd been using for our Ascend program. And that organization is Heads Up Fox Cities, and I am looking around the room for Laura. Where did she wind up? Laura Keel. Laura Keel is board president and founder of Heads Up Fox Cities, and she and I have spent many, many, many hours in conversation over the last year about how to make a partnership work. We're piloting it, and it's really exciting to see this upstream program, this program that addresses a need before folks enter a homeless experience, as folks who have, young folks, children who've had trauma backgrounds enter adulthood with limited supports, to be able to bring this program to them together with folks with the expertise to serve the clients face-to-face and folks with the expertise to provide the housing that they need and maintain that housing. So really excited to see where that partnership's gonna go. I hope you get a chance to talk to Laura while she's here. This trust-based partnership will be formalized as we move forward. Those are our accomplishments for 2024. I want to turn now to just a brief commentary on the state of homelessness and our services in the community. You've heard a bit about that already from Steve, and I'm going to highlight just a few more things for you. Needs are on the rise. That bears repeating. We have seen unsheltered homelessness increase. We have seen family homelessness increase. Family homelessness in particular has risen 139% based on the homelessness lists. I'm going to keep it simple and just call them homelessness lists in our community. It's complex stuff, but the lists that we use to prioritize people for housing programs have risen sharply in just 1 year's time. It's troubling, and it's not just here. We also are facing a housing shortage, and that housing shortage is making the work of finding housing for our clients harder and harder through time. From 2019 to 2024, we have seen our success rate in placing I hate to call that success rate because it leaves our case managers feeling demoralized that they haven't succeeded. But the rate at which we place people leaving shelter in a permanent or positive location has declined steadily. And seeing that pattern, you have to understand that that is not an outcome of our case manager's service, not an outcome of our case manager's hard work. It is an effect of the world in which we live, the market that we face. It's incredibly troubling. It's incredibly demoralizing. Meanwhile, housing prices have increased 70% in those same 5 years here in Appleton. That's what Redfin told me anyway. So not unrelated trends, right? This is a housing problem. Homelessness is a housing problem, which is why whenever I'm in front of a group like this, I like to say, if you are a landlord, if you know a landlord, or if you have a landlord, please introduce them to me. Please introduce them to me so I can introduce them to the folks who do the hard work of getting our clients housed, because we need all of the compassionate landlords that we can find in order to successfully place people where they need to be, which is in a stable place where they can address the other underlying challenges that they face in their lives so that they can achieve stability. I'm going to move on now to our strategies for the future. You heard Steve talk about us being more settled and now able to look to the future. It's been so refreshing to lift our eyes to the horizon and to look ahead. It's really vital that we do so, given the critical challenges that we face, that our region and our nation face. I have faith that this housing crisis won't last forever. Almost nothing does. But I'm not a fool, and I know that it's not going away anytime soon. Wherever conversations about housing occur, Pillars and our partners will be at the table. Public, private, and nonprofit entities are coming together with faith communities to influence decisions that expand housing availability and affordability. And that's one of our key strategic focuses for the year ahead. We are going to be there where those conversations happen. We're building strategies to ensure that the center holds while we wait for housing to catch up with the need. It's going to take time. We're giving you a sneak preview of those strategies today, which are not yet officially approved by our board. So, board members, the pressure's on you as you see these strategies shared here publicly this morning. We're going to focus on the needs of those we serve. We're going to focus on the well-being of our team. And we're going to focus on the strength of our connection to those of us who make Pillar Shelter support and solutions possible. These strategies are simple in concept so that we can ensure that action and implementation on them is collective. I don't want to prescribe how we're going to do this. It's going to take staff input to know how we're going to do this, board input to know how we're going to do it, community input to know how we're going to do it. First on the list, we're going to be focusing on relieving program bottlenecks to shorten the path to home. What do I mean when I say that? It helps to have a visual, I think. Across all of our programs, Pillars serves about 1,800 people each year. It takes about $5 million each year to do that. When unsheltered homelessness is on the rise, as it has been recently, here and across the country, the community tends to focus on the need for more shelter. But shelter is expensive. Shelter can be traumatizing. Shelter is not the easiest place to live. Shelter is not an appropriate place to live for everybody. And shelter is not the solution to homelessness. Housing is the solution to homelessness. Thank you. That's why our focus will be on the entrance to and exit from shelter, as Steve remarked at the beginning. At the entrance end, programs like diversion and prevention find creative solutions to keep people housed so they never have to enter shelter. Our street outreach team, too, is seeing some success in housing folks straight out of unsheltered homelessness, skipping shelter altogether. At the exit end, we'll be looking for opportunities to expand access to housing for low-income folks. That's where that plea for landlords comes in. We intend to mobilize as many people as we can around our call to action. And where there are opportunities to invest time, energy, and money, as I said, in expanding affordable housing, we will be there. We will be at the table. Meanwhile, we will stay flexible, seeking the interim solutions, those winter solutions I described earlier, in order to bridge the gap. We also aim to strengthen the Pillars team, investing time and money in our people. We've worked really hard on compensation these last few years, but that is not all it takes to make a team strong. We're investing in quarterly surveys with our team and putting a ton of effort into taking action on the input that we get. We're shoring up our communications internally, we're improving our training. We've reduced our annualized turnover from 75% to 46%. And that is something to celebrate. That is something to celebrate, even though 46% turnover is still pretty destabilizing, very destabilizing. Less destabilizing than 75%, so we'll take the wins where we can get them. In the years ahead, our focus will be on unifying and equipping our entire team, staff, and board alike to deliver solutions in the difficult environment I've described, while taking care of themselves and each other, asking for help when they need it. Last but not least, we plan to keep the collective creativity flowing with all of you by ensuring that we keep you close, that we connect and engage with you, with our volunteers, our collaborators, our donors. You're the ones who make all of this possible. It takes all of us. It takes all of us to make this work happen. For Pillars' vision to be realized, we need those of you who support our mission to feel that you're as vital a part of what happens at Pillars as our team, staff, and board. That doesn't happen without intention. We're going to build on this capability in the year ahead, and we hope that you will let us know how we're doing. As we look to the future with these strategies, another pretty exciting thing has happened for our organization. A family foundation recently put another significant gust of wind in our sails to support us in implementing them. That gust of wind comes in the form of a 3-year pledge of $250,000 a year. This transformative gift was inspired by our newly stable position, meaning that you all helped make it happen, and a belief that the direction in which we're headed is worth investing in. So I'll be back in 2026. We'll be excited to share how far we've come, the progress we've made together, all of us. Until then, I want to thank you for the role that you have played and will continue to play in our story. I'm going to take a breath. We're changing speeds now. We're going to move on to our next item in this morning's program, Pillars Annual Awards. The report to the community each year serves as a time for us to pause, to look back and reflect on all the amazing things that have happened, on all the amazing people who've made them happen, on the obstacles we've overcome. None of that would be possible without the community's support and the people gathered here, and we are going to honor just a handful of those people. We select a community partner of the year each year and a volunteer of the year each year. We've actually got 2 volunteers of the year each year, and it's actually more than 2. I'll let you be surprised about that. You'll hear more about that in a minute. I have the honor of presenting our Community Partner of the Year award. Partnership is at its purest and most powerful when each partner shows up knowing who they are, knowing where they're going, and knowing what they're built to do. Partnership is most effective when it's based on trust. Our Community Partner of the Year for fiscal year 2024 showed up knowing and embracing its strategic role as a convener and collaborator, and understanding Pillar's vision of a compassionate community that collaborates to solve homelessness. You've already heard a great deal about this partner from me this morning, so it won't surprise you to hear that this year we are honoring the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region. I'd like Kurt Dachin, President and CEO of the Community Foundation, and Jenny Krikava, Community Engagement Manager, to come forward to accept the award.
Well, on behalf of the Community Foundation, I just want to say thank you to Pillars, but just a couple of reflective comments. I stand here on behalf of the Community Foundation, really representing a community of generous donors, the donors that we represent and partner with each and every day to find ways to support the important things in our community. And at its essence, that's what the Community Foundation is here. We're a steward for generous giving in the community. I'm joined by Jenny, my great colleague, who I'll talk about in a second. Some of my colleagues from the staff and board are with me. Alana's right in front of me. Megan represents our donor services team. Beth Flaherty, Laura Morank, board members, board leaders in our organization. It takes a team. You heard a lot about the Pillars team today, and let me just speak on that for a second. I want to applaud Lisa and her board for not only having a strategy, but having the courage to come forward and ask for help, the mantra for the year. Asking for help is hard, and when we were asked, we knew that there was an appropriate way that we could help and we could respond. I turned to Jenny, and Jenny said, yep, we can do this, and was right on the phone with Wendy Krieger from United Way. We do a lot of things with United Way as a strategic partner. So together we invited folks together and filled a room of people who cared, and everybody responded. You heard earlier the generous $150,000 challenge grant from a donor, and I'm going to say here in this room, thank you to that generous donor for really leading the charge and inspiring generosity that really saved the day. Pretty incredible. But it really starts with confidence and trust in the person, the organization that you're investing in. And Pillars demonstrated the ability to be trustworthy and capable to do that. And none of that would happen without Lisa and her staff and board team. So that's where it really all starts. So a generous community coming together was awesome, and frankly, working with Pillars in this last year was the highlight of what I got to do in this community in the last year. David Thiede, you heard a little bit about him. Sometimes the benefit of having a longer career gives you the ability to have experiences, and you learn a few things along the way. So thinking about the Pillars mortgage debt, I harken back to some of my old city days working with Monica Stage, working in the city of Appleton, and that idea of providing financial support and having a lien against a property that gets paid back someday is something we did a lot of back in those days, and it made perfect sense. And I doubt that anybody in this room ever met or knew David Thiede. I didn't either. He had confidence and trust in the Community Foundation as a partner and in the Basic Needs Giving Partnership and the strategy and the intentions and the leadership that it has. But it took the collective vision and support. It was, my board of directors was all in on it. They thought it was a great idea. U.S. Venture raises all that money each and every year for basic needs. U.S. Venture said, yep, we like the idea. Lynn Coriano and her team at Basic Needs said, yep, we like the idea. It came together, and it was an idea. It's a little bit novel. And I really hope that someday Pillars and community partners are able to truly solve homelessness, and maybe that property will be sold and that money will be returned and be recirculated in other philanthropic ways. It's going to take a few years, but let's just all hope that that happens. Again, a big thank you to Pillars for leadership and caring so much about this community. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague here, Jenny, to share a little bit more about how we view housing and the opportunities.
Thanks, Kurt, and thanks everyone for being here. Well, I'll keep it short. Lisa said it so well before, how we see what can happen when we come together as a community, be it financially. Everyone stepped in different ways. Some of it was financial. Some of it, you're here doing volunteer work. Housing is at the top of our challenging issues in our community. And I've been steeped in the housing challenges probably for the past 4 years now. And there's really exciting work going on, but there's also a lot that's required of all of us. So whatever way you feel you can get engaged, just want to put that out there one more time today, because there is hard work ahead and we're all needed. We all need to come together building this community of care so that everyone has a safe, affordable place to live.
That's awesome. Love it. Love it. Thank you.
Next up, we have David Busnelli, our maintenance technician, to present one of our volunteers of the year. David, come on up.
Thank you. All right, am I doing this right? All right. Hi, I'm David Busnelli for Pillars Maintenance, and I've been here 5 years. And we are here to honor the individuals who come every Tuesday to show up, rain or shine, to help our tenants and our clients with turning over units, and to make our rentals safe and allow our tenants to have living in dignity. Last year, they volunteered more than 1,200 hours. We can, yes. We actually can't be successful without them because they take a lot of load off of me and my colleague. Many of the members have been with us more than a dozen years. I will introduce them. Are they supposed to come up here? I'm going to introduce Carl. Hold on, I lost my. And he will let everybody else know. Carl? Oh, that's all right. Thank you for coming. You're the man.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Well, based on the way Lisa talked, I think I'll do the same thing, throw the notes away and start over again. I was selected by my peers. I've learned one thing, stay in the room, because otherwise, we're mostly a group of retired individuals, both men and women, and I think we all wanted to give back to the community that gave us a real nice living. We also wanted to get out of the house before the reminder of the to-do list was on the refrigerator. The maintenance staff provides us with materials, equipment, and then direction. And without them, this group would fail because when we get there, we don't know what to do. We do things like painting, Chantilly beige with white, fixing locks, leaking faucets, or cleaning out, and ladies, you'll appreciate this one, the drain from your bathtub and your sink. It's probably the messiest job we've got. For the endeavors that we are doing, we are rewarded with, at 10 o'clock in the morning, donuts and coffee. Will the honorary crew stand up? We want to thank Pillars for honoring us for the goofy things that we do and the goofy things we say. So appreciate that very much so. Lisa, Dave, Jim.
Carl, we got something for you to take with you. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Carl.
Thank you all. 12 years, every Tuesday. I mean, it's amazing. And I've been grateful to meet some of your partners this morning. Next up is Charles West, one of our shelter case managers, to present our bonus volunteer of the year. Come on up, Charles.
Thank you. I'm Charles West. I work in crisis housing and at the adult and family shelter. We are so proud of the work we do, finding homes and supports for people, and we can only do it with the gifts of volunteers like Eric Tollefson, and we owe him so much, and it's hard to honor him, but he does so much for us. This small gift that we're going to give him is just a little piece of that. The gifts that Eric has given us of his time and devotion, we think that Eric has given us 5 hours a week of his service, but it's very hard to measure because any normal superhuman person, it would take 20, 30, 40, 50 hours a week to replace him. We know that he's given us 500 hours in the last 4 years. What an amazing gift for us. We also thank him for the gift of his family. He has, on occasion, roped in his family to come and celebrate with us on special occasions. There are times that he even sends them with costumes, and we thank him for that. The real gift that I'd like to thank Eric for is knowing us so well. Eric provides us with data services and support, but also encouragement and tips and tricks that he's learned over the years. And those things are irreplaceable. Only a true friend could know us as well as he does and provide us what he does provide us without even asking. He just knows that we need it, and he gives it to us. When I was asked to present this award, to a person in the office, they're like, "Nope, I can't." I'd cry. So if that's a statement about what you mean to us, I hope you take it as important as it is. Eric is a vital link between how we help people and how we communicate what we do and how we measure what we do and how we know what we're doing is having an effect, and more importantly, how we can continue to do what we're doing, finding stable housing for people. This small gift, I can't thank you enough, Eric. It's an honor to work with you, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Charles, for your comments. I'm very flattered. I was going to talk about I'm going to tell you about my experience, my journey with Pillars. When I retired 10 years ago, hang on, I got to pull out my notes. It's been 25 years since I was in a corporate environment, and that's the last time I got up in front of a group. So you'll have to bear with me. When I retired 10 years ago, I knew I wanted to do some volunteering. In early 2015, I spent time researching opportunities that I was interested in and would fit with what I was looking for. The Fox Valley has many great organizations, so I had no trouble finding a few things to try, one being Homeless Connection at the time, now Pillars. I started out doing the St. Joe's Food Pantry pickup every other Wednesday. I would take all the extra donations from the shelter to St. Joe's and bring back a truckload of groceries, which usually included 30 to 50 gallons of milk. After a short time, I realized that my grandsons had late start every other Wednesday. I called them and I asked them if they wanted to help me at the shelter. In all honesty, I don't remember the conversation, but I probably just told them they were coming and what time I was going to pick them up. They were in 2nd and 4th grade at the time. Alex, the younger, was 4 feet tall and weighed about 50 pounds. It was funny watching him try to load those cases of milk and fruit into the truck, and he didn't want any help. You know, if I tried to help him, he didn't want me to do that. So they loved it, and the best part, they did all the work, and I just got to supervise. They always joked that they worked for donuts because we'd always stop at Quick Trip for donuts on the way. Kind of like the other crew over here, they have donuts every time. They continue with me until they started 9th and 11th grade, at which time the school district discontinued Late Start. And they were really disappointed when it ended. My older grandson, Evan, who is starting college this fall, recounted his experiences volunteering at Pillars in his college essay that he submitted when applying for colleges. A year or so after I started, I asked Kathy, that was Kathy Dean at the time, was the shelter manager. I asked Kathy if there was any other opportunities I could help with. She'd asked if I'd be interested in scanning in old client files to be saved, which I started doing. Sometime later, Kathy or Christine asked if I would be interested in entering data into HMIS for the case managers, which I also started doing. Christine also told me that the adult shelter had a lot of files that needed to be saved, so she put me in touch with Lauren. My experience, as it turned out, this turned out to be exactly what I was looking for, being able to help a great organization making a tremendous difference in the community. The fact that I can play a small part by helping the case managers have more time to spend with clients and put their focus where it really matters is the best part. I wanted to make one comment. I hadn't thought about this, but we were talking, or Lisa was talking a lot about the staff. And I'll spend a few hours each week at the adult and family shelter, and I've been in the other shelters. But no matter where I've been in, any of the shelters, any of the buildings, the way that the staff deals with their clients, with respect, compassion, understanding, I've never seen anything but that. And it doesn't matter who the staff is, case managers, advocates, or whatever. But that's always impressed me, and it just makes me want to do more. I'm really honored to receive this award, and I hope it can continue for many more years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charles.
Next up, we have Matt Malm, our Community Engagement Director.
Let's go. One more round of applause for all of our award winners today. Thank you. I'm Matt Malm. I'm the Community Engagement Director here at Pillars. I did just want to take a moment out to thank the entire community engagement team for all the work that they put into making this event happen today. This was our first time selling out the event, 125 people, so thank you all for coming today. Round of applause for the community engagement team. I wanted to take a minute today to really bring all of this information to life, all of the strategies and statistics that you heard today, by sharing a story from a young mother at our adult and family shelter. For many people that come to Pillars, the end goal of securing stable housing can feel unobtainable. But at Pillars, we know that it's the small wins that lead to success. And that really looks different for each person and each program. It's often the small wins that define progress and grow into hope. Each achievement, whether it's saving your first $100, securing transportation to an appointment, or even just making it to your weekly case management meeting, builds confidence and motivation to continue moving forward. Each win starts to build the foundation of a more stable and secure future, a future that we don't always get to see. Often we work with a person and see their progress without ever knowing the full impact it has on their life. Recently, one mother at shelter shared a letter with our staff that reminded us of what Pillars meant to her. And I hope it reminds all of you of why you're here today. I'm going to read a part of the letter that she dropped off for staff. As I lay here on my last night at Pillars, I have to say it's emotional. There were plenty of times I just wanted to leave and not come back, but each of you played a huge role in my staying here, for not only myself and my son, but for my family. Pillars is and always will be my son's first home. He was only 1.5 months old when I came here. Now he's a happy, charming 7-month-old. It truly meant the world to me how much each of you adored him and made him smile. They say family isn't always blood, and Pillars truly showed that to my son. We will definitely miss each one of you, and I will bring my son in for visits and updates. We love you guys. We will miss Pillars, but we're ready to be in our own home. The full impact of our work isn't always clear from the surface. We don't always get to hear the impact that we have on people's lives, but it reminds us that our community can and is making a difference. It's a reminder that all of you make a difference. Thank you again for being here today, and thank you for being a part of the Pillars team. Moving on to our closing, I want to invite our board vice president, Tim Cruz, up to the stage to close things out. And board president, Steve Williams.
Thanks, Matt. Good morning. Trying to find my script so I don't keep you here any longer than you need to be. So I'll try to stick with script. As we near the end of today's session, I really sincerely want to thank our community and our donors. Your generosity and your belief in our work really helped, as you heard many times, Pillars reach financial stability. And that was such a critical thing. It reminds me of a moment we had in one of our board meetings, probably about 10 months or so. One of our board members paused and really asked this question. He said, we're putting a lot of time and energy into ensuring financial stability. And certainly it was what we needed to do at that time. But he asked, when do we get back to strategies that really move us forward towards our mission and our vision? And frankly, that question, I think it stuck with me, it stuck with many of our board members. That was really a good question. It really serves to remind us why we do the work that we do. So now with that financial stability in place, as you've heard, we've been able to shift our focus back to creating longer-term impact, helping people avoid homelessness in the first place, finding the safe alternatives when crisis hits, and supporting individuals and families that are transitioning to permanent housing. In February, we had a board strategy meeting. We had all the board members, we had Lisa and her extended Pillars team, and we emphasized that investing in these solutions, that early intervention, that crisis response alternatives, and housing-focused exits is not only more compassionate, it's also far more sustainable than growing shelter capacity alone. So our vision continues to guide us. Here's our vision. We envision a creative, compassionate community, a community that collaborates to find innovative, effective housing solutions so experiences of housing, or of homelessness, are rare and brief, and everyone has a place to call home. Thank you for walking with us on this journey. Your support is helping to turn this vision into a reality. I'm excited to continue this important work alongside you and the dedicated Pillars staff as we move forward together. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Before we close, I want to take a moment to recognize the people who make Pillars' mission happen. As we've heard before, our exceptional staff, thank you. Thank you for the work you do day in and day out. It's life-changing. It's not easy, but it's essential. You bring dignity, dependability, and hope to people when they need it most. To our executive director, Lisa Strandberg. Thank you for your courageous, there's that word again, resilient, and thoughtful leadership. You've guided us through significant financial and staffing challenges toward new opportunities with a vision that is becoming reality. I've enjoyed serving alongside you. To that end, as my term as board president comes to a close, I'm excited about the strength of leadership emerging within our board. People like Tim Cruz, insightful, strategic, and deeply committed to our mission. I'm confident that with leaders like Tim, our board and our organization are in strong hands. We can't and don't do this work alone. This is a shared effort. It takes cities and counties, faith communities, nonprofits, and neighbors willing to help. We need all of you to advocate for smart housing policies, to partner on creative housing solutions, and to support the work with your time, your voice, and your financial gifts. As we look ahead, let's continue working towards a future where everyone has a place to call home. Thank you for helping us create not just shelter, but a community where everyone matters and everyone belongs. Thank you.